Afghanistan. It's a land of rugged mountains and fertile valleys, sleepy hamlets and sprawling cities. It is also a land of war. Conflict has plagued this country for 3 decades, pulling in dozens of foreign countries and independent forces. Today, Afghanistan is a land of a struggling democracy. Parliamentary elections are scheduled for September 18, and the streets of Afghanistan are plastered with campaign posters. Thousands of posters. There are 249 seats up for contest. There are 2,556 candidates waiting for Election Day. The job of ensuring a smooth election falls on Afghanistan's Independent Election Commission.
I'm confident that everything is going according to our plans. The list of polling centers is finalized. The picking of and delivery of our sensitive materials is going on, and so far there was no security incidents. And we are confident that we will deliver good and transparent elections on the 18th of September.
Of the 2,500 candidates, 406 are women, most of whom remember a time when elected office was an unachievable dream. Women have made strides since Taliban rule. Many have access to education, many to technical and vocational training. Others are making inroads in government and in politics.
نقش زنها در پارلمان تا جایی که ارزیابی میکنیم زنها همچون مردا تونستن که در پارلمان و در عرصه‌های سیاسی نقش داشته باشند و ان قریب در پارلمان آینده همچنان نقش دارند.
تمام خانم‌ها در پروسه رایگیری اشتراک بکنن و خانم‌ها بتونن به نحو یک نماینده از مردم خود در پارلمان اشتراک بکنن و اراده مردم خود در پارلمان مطرح کنن.
خوشبختانه همچین گپی نیست. اسلام اجازه میده برای یک خانم که کاندید بکنه، حق کاندید شدن داره، حق رای گرفتن داره از مرد و حق خو از مرد داره.
تا خانم نباشه یک کار پیش بردن نمیتونه، تنها مرد نمیتونه در قبال به تنهایی کار پیش ببره. از همین خاطر حضور خانم‌ها در پارلمان حتمی هست.
Fawzia Kofi is a candidate from the rugged Badakhshan province in northeastern Afghanistan. A social worker by trade, she came to parliament in Afghanistan's first parliamentary elections in 2005. She is known for her outspoken views on women's rights in Afghanistan.
Women in Afghanistan have been suffering a lot, no matter where they are, even if they are in politics or they're as a social worker or they're working at home. They're all the victims. They're all the victim of wrong aspects of traditions, wrong aspect of culture, and wrong definition of the Islam that some of our Islamic scholars impose on women. Because they don't have power, they don't have weapon, they don't have guns to destroy. So nobody is afraid that they will make trouble. People will only listen to those who make trouble. And women are not troublemaker, so they are ignored. A victim myself, a victim of violence, a victim of a wrong aspect of traditions. But I try to break the taboos, and now I want to open this way for others.
Kofi was a deputy speaker of the Walesi Jarga, Afghanistan's lower house of parliament. In that role, she fought for several women's protection laws, such as Afghanistan's violence against women law.
We follow up on the lives of those women who are victims and survivors of violence. For instance, women who are, victim of rape, exploitation, abuse. Not only women but young girls. We try to establish different committees, and we did through the government high-level officials, including the vice president. We try to involve them in the process, and through that prosecute and establish rule of law on the perpetrators. I travel to the districts. I try to do small things for people, for women especially. Be it a education program or a vocational training program, or a higher education program for young girls. These are the things that we do, and I think that through that we can bring small changes.
Shinkai Karokhel is also an incumbent, a Pashtun from the rural south of Kabul province. She is campaigning in a tough, conservative territory recently overrun by Taliban insurgents. Karokhail was a founding member of the Afghan Women's Education Center, a 20-year-old organization working to provide health and education services for Afghan women in Afghanistan and in Pakistan.
This is my village and where I spent my early childhood. So this is the area belong to our tribe, our family, and our supporter. And in this area, actually, I'm the only woman stand for coming election.
Karokhail comes from a political family. Her father was an elder in Kabul. Her uncle and father were both politically active members of Maze Milli, an old political party in Afghanistan.
This is my father's grave. He was very well known, and not in this area, but in entire Afghanistan. And he was a tribal leader, and he was really famous. He was respected by different tribes. I feel that my country needs me. I got enough experience. I built the trust between myself and my constituency, and also my sincere commitment to this country encouraged me to run for the second time.
Farkhunda Zahra Naderi is running a rare urban campaign in Kabul. Educated in the UK and in Uzbekistan, she is active in her minority Ismaili community. She manages the Hakim Nasir Khosrow Balkhi Cultural Center, established by her father, a former vice president and a candidate in the current elections.
I have to serve, because my father always encouraged me to that point. If the political ideology has been distorted in Afghanistan, we have to fix it. We can't just criticize and just stay back.
Naderi is running an active campaign unusual in conflict societies. Her campaign strategies rely on one-on-one contact with constituents, dispatching teams of young campaigners into surrounding Ismaili communities. But most of all, her campaign is known for her poster, which features a faceless woman in a burqa, or as it is known in Afghanistan, a chadri.
In my poster, I use different elements. One of them is my face is not present there, my picture. Another element is that I put chadri in the background. And my message is also chadri, the window of power. We have to turn the small window of chadri by knowledge and education to a window of power. So I am entering to this field hoping that I can make a change. But of course, you know, I know it's not an easy path, and it requires a lot of effort, patience, and at the same time, it's a very long path. In Afghanistan, people do not take women seriously. Nowadays, when women emerging in politics, they still do not take them serious, and they still do not believe that they can work.
If you're a woman parliamentarian or a woman candidate, people will look at the way you clothe, you dress, the way you talk, the way you attend parties, attend rallies. All of these are questionable for people because you're a woman.
People, the majority of people, or most of the people, they're actually trying to vote women based on their face. In my view, it's an humiliation for women. It's very important for me to draw people's attention to a debate first, rather than my face.
I respect the culture, the good aspect of culture, not of course the wrong aspects of culture. I talk against the wrong aspects of culture. For instance, in some places, they don't allow women to go to the mosques to campaign. They think mosques are not for women. So when I go to some places and they stop women, they don't stop me because they know I'm very tough on them, but they stop some women from going to mosque, and my message to them is that this is not what Islam says. What Islam says is that mosque is not only a religious gathering place that you pray for Allah, but also a social gathering place. So you should allow your woman to come and socially get together.
Such views would have been impossible to air 9 years ago when the Taliban still ruled Afghanistan. We asked a former leader about the future of women's rights.
The women, they have to work. The women, they have to go education, but to be by respect of Islamic law. I think that Taliban will be not against that.
For women to get really empowered, really get their rights, they have to know Islamic rights first. They have to be very strong in this field. They have to be really educated in this field. Once they get their Islamic rights, of course, then they can get their human rights and they can get Afghani rights.
The system is not very much supportive or cooperative, so women have more challenges than men.
Afghanistan's constitution tries to ensure against a slide back into Taliban times, but challenges remain. The constitution reserves at least 68 seats, more than 25% of the 249-member lower house, just for women. But that requirement comes with its own problems.
Every province has at least 2 seats reserved for women. But it seems that these 2 seats for women has been considered some kind of a ceiling.
This 25% was a positive discrimination, a quota that women must be there. But now it develops in a way that women just thinking that they have to go just for 9 seats. And they're just fighting against each other, not against men.
Our past experience was not a very good and very much ideal for me as a woman, because the reserve seat bring more uncompetitive women and without having enough experience. So that's why our work was not very much productive regarding the women's issue and bring unity and solidarity among women.
First of all, I'm hoping that people make a good decision and they actually vote for a strong group of women to go there. I mean, in any province, if they get the strongest women to allow them to go in parliament, then it actually makes life a bit easy, because we know we are a very strong group there.
What are women doing there? Are they having some kind of committees, like as women, that they are trying to address women's issues? Or are they working individually based on their ethnicities, their age, their qam? So you can see 25% of women being there, but individuals, or are they working as a bloc?
I think women also need to experience their political life and learn from their mistakes till then they can organize themselves for the future of this country. We lost some of the opportunity to work better for the rights of women. And for them, ethnic problem or ethnicity or religion or province or these all were like a different issue, were more important than the women's issue.
And then there's the ever-present threat in Afghanistan, a slide back into war.
Particularly for me as a woman, security is a big challenge. Why? For me, because it's not only from Taliban, it is from Taliban as well, but for a Talib, if they kill a woman, which is a woman candidate, the negative implications on the public, especially the women of Afghanistan, will be much more greater. It could diverse women movement steps back. And also there are some traditional power holders and some local power breakers in the local communities that they believe as women get stronger, they lose their power. So they try to use any kind of means to commit suicide attack or terrorist act against the woman candidate.
Security is the most important element for our campaign, especially as a woman, because at least the security reason also limit my movement, because I want to reach different part of my constituency. I have to deliver my message. I have to encourage people to participate. Due to the security reason, I cannot move very freely and without fear.
The Afghan government has often signaled its dedication to the security of women. We asked Zakaria Barakzai of the Election Commission what they could do to help.
Providing security to candidates is not job of the Election Commission. The only thing is that we have requested the Ministry of Interior to provide security for all candidates' campaigns, in particular for women candidates, and I hope that it will happen and women candidates will feel comfortable.
We took the same question to the Ministry of the Interior.
The females are absolutely an issue of consideration for us, that the security forces should provide security for them. However, the security does not mean that we'll provide them bodyguards and PSTs, because more than 2,500 people are running for the parliament, and it's so much difficult to provide bodyguards and special PSTs for every candidate.
And despite all the promises, security has continued to hamper the campaign. Nearly 1,000 polling centers have been closed. At least 4 candidates have been killed since campaigning began. The only way many candidates can campaign is to make surprise visits to their constituencies.
Due to the security reason, even we did not inform them in advance, but still I feel that we have to go and talk about the coming election, and I encourage myself to go and meet the people, and let's hope for the best.
Other concerns cut deeper to the core of Afghanistan's fledgling democracy. Among the threats of war and the security lapses, does the parliament really matter at all?
Parliament, it's a symbolic name for Afghanistan. This is not the real parliament in Afghanistan. They have no authority in Afghanistan. Like in other countries, when they have decided something, the people, the government, they have to do it. Many times the parliament, they decided something, they were not able to do anything.
I think that those women who have actually made a lot of differences, like have been those women who have worked outside formal politics rather than inside formal politics. Women's civil society organizations trying to push for like sending women to peace jargah. I think they did a great job. They negotiated their way to have more seats for women in peace jargah.
But the candidates power on. Afghanistan's parliament must be given a chance, they say. Weak as it may be, it is an essential rallying point to balance the scales of power and to give the women of Afghanistan greater control of their lives and their destiny.
Of course, it's a very hard task for us, a big fight to change this, and we can't change it in one day. But at least we have to take the risk to go for that, to say, I want to change this mentality. I don't want them to see me in that way.
I had a meeting with a woman candidate, and the first time I heard the woman in the village said that why we should support other candidate. This time we support female candidate because we are the same sex and we have to support women, and women candidate need our support.
We are coming to empower. We are coming to actually solve problem along with men and make Afghanistan a better Afghanistan.
Sometimes these are the challenges and the taboos that we have to break. The next generation, when they come, nobody will pay attention to the way they dress. Perhaps they will look at the policy issues. There will be policy-based approach, not dress-based approach. And these kinds of things, we have to struggle every day.